Australia has rejected Candace Owens' her visa, her actual travel documents. She had a speaking tour plan, and suddenly that's all in jeopardy because Australia said you have too controversial a record. Now, this is fascinating. Candace Owens doesn't have a criminal record. She doesn't have any history of violence, any history of harming anybody, but she has a controversial history. According to Australia's immigration minister, uh, from downplaying the impact of the Holocaust with comments about notorious Nazi Dr. Joseph Mengele, through to claims that Muslims started slavery. Candace Owens has the capacity to incite discord in almost every direction. I'm going to read that again. Australia's immigration member issued this statement about Candace Owens' rejection into the country. He said, from downplaying the impact of the Holocaust with comments about Joseph Mengele, who's a notorious Nazi doctor, through her claims that Muslims started slavery, Candace Owens has the capacity to incite discord in every direction. He also added, Australia's national interest is best served when Candace Owens is somewhere else. Now, they're not the only people mad at Candace. Her tour has been opposed by some local Australia Jewish groups, including the federal anti-Semitism envoy. So, I happen to believe that many of the things that Candace Owens has said, especially in the last 3 or 4 months, are not anti-Semitic. They're just deep, substantive critiques of Israel. But if they have a deeper history and some other stuff, I don't know anything about it one way or the other. But this is interesting because I'm watching the right get outraged again. I'm hearing them say, well, why can this happen? This is unfair. This is a violation of free speech. Well, no, free speech always is complicated. It's always nuanced. But in this case, it's also domestic. Like, you're not entitled to free speech in other people's country. You're entitled to free speech in this country, which happens to promote free speech, which, of course, I love. At the end of the day, before I make it too messy and confusing, Candace Owens does not have a right to free speech in Australia. Australia has to think about its national security interests. Now, you can agree or disagree with how dangerous Candace is for Australia, but what you cannot do, is tell Australia that because America believes in free speech, and Australia does too, right? But because America believes in free speech and has these free speech rules, etc., that they have to be allowed into the country. They have to actually think about their national interests. And I can see somebody saying, hey, if you incite violence, if you worry people, if you just take normal, innocent people and have them thinking about the world in ways that lead them down a harmful road, all these are reasons to say, no. Australia said, look, it's not in our national security interest. What are you going to say? Violate your national security interest to let Candace Owens in? So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to see more of this. Sometimes it'll be stopping the anti-Semite from coming in, but sometimes it's going to be stopping the pro-Palestinian protester or voice from coming in. Sometimes it's going to be someone who's anti-occupation or anti-whatever. I don't love the idea of countries not letting people in because I think it's a slippery slope, but I also don't want us to start acting like every country needs to let us in for all reasons. I mean, on some level, I believe that because I don't believe in the borders that we appeal to as a nation state. But in the way that they mean it, I'm okay with this. Again, I'm okay with this. I think our words are being misunderstood sometimes, but at the end of the day, I'm okay with this. There's a lot of discord that can happen, and we've seen so much of it in this country, so much division, so much bitterness. I would hate to export more of that. We damn sure have exported it, but I hate to export more of that.